All right. So what we're building is called MOBY Pages, and basically it's a large social networking type Yellow Pages site. Right now we have the Calgary portal online. Hopefully by the end of the month, we have data for all the cities in Canada. So by the end of the month, we'll have all the cities in Canada. Basically, the idea isn't that sophisticated. It's all for each business. We pretty much have we have listings, including pictures and a map, video also. Right now, like I don't have any example of video. It's still a work in progress. But this is basically Japanese village restaurant. We have reviews of. We have a basic description of the site, and we have reviews at the bottom. Again, that's a bit broken on IE7. It uses a certain amount of AJAX and basically wrapped around a content management system. The idea is that you can, if you're one of these companies, pretty much any local business, we want to publish as much information about your business online as possible. A lot of small businesses just don't have websites or don't have websites which are well maintained. So it's a great opportunity for them just to have something which is relatively easy to use. They can update it themselves. They can add as much content to it. They can even take surveys. Of course, it's difficult getting people to take surveys online. But if they want to use it, basically this can serve as sort of a surrogate for a website. Certain features include every user got an account. Basically, this shows up with all the reviews that I've written on my account. Gives you a nice little map here of all of the places, all of the different places. If you click on the map, of course, you take into the business. We also have directions on the map, on each map. This basically will shoot back to Google and get you directions. Google's actually currently deployed an API which allows you to get directions in your application. So we'll get directions actually in the application. When you're logged on to MOBY Pages, you can actually add your own location. So right now I have this site centered around my location. So any search that I perform will basically center around whatever I've defined to be my location. And of course, you'll get a map on the side dealing with that. So I live in Woodbine, and the closest restaurant is Chop Chow. So basically, that's the gist of it. What I want to do with it is I actually want to also develop an open source, based on the same platform, develop an open source piece of software to allow small businesses to quickly promote themselves. And I'll just call it, that'll be called MOBY Pages Promote, which will basically allow small businesses to quickly deploy content managed websites, and those will aggregate back to MOBY Pages. Any content that their customers submit to MOBY Pages, such as reviews or pictures or anything else, can actually be, through an API, be distributed back to the website. So basically I want tight integration. Of course the site isn't all that old right now. It's still a work in progress. There's still bugs here and there that are being worked on. New features which are being planned and so on. That's pretty much it for where it is at right now. Pretty much every listing you can add, anyone can add images to it by just clicking on the link and selecting the image and then clicking submit to upload that. That'll show up inline in the listing. You can add pages, you can add video, like I said, web forms, which will basically which you can create a survey and it'll display some of the results of the survey. If we can, like right now, I don't have a lot of funding. Really, this is funded personally. It's all bootstrapped so far. But if I can get some funding, we could definitely, like right now, the Yellow Pages industry in Canada is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's still in growth, so there's an opportunity there to actually go out and sell listings if we can assemble a sales force to the small business community in Calgary. The other revenue potential is, of course, through advertising. The website's been online for, the Calgary portal's been online for about a month. For the month, like, of course, you have to give consideration that Google hasn't had a full month time to index it. But for the month of June, we'll have about 5,000 hits. So that's not bad. If you multiply that times probably 100 cities, including all the small cities, there's probably 20 to 30 cities in Canada which are of any decent size. But if you consider all the if you consider all the cities, maybe 100 different cities in Canada, the traffic begins to grow with the amount of data. We also have data for the United States, so we'll be doing all the cities in the United States. So basically, there's a lot of growth potential in doing this sort of thing. Yelp and Judy's book, which are two competitors which we modeled after, both have multi-million-dollar funding. I mean, of course, they've shifted their business model isn't quite the same, and they've shifted it quite a bit. But in general, they've received a decent amount of both return on their investment and growth in community. And I mean, ultimately, I think it is all about building a community through proper advertisement and through selling it as through getting businesses through self-interest to essentially promote whatever your product is. And if you can do that, if you can actually become an integral part of helping small businesses promote themselves, then I think the community follows by itself. As long as you can, for instance, get a referral for a small business to write a review or something like that. So that's it. You're welcome to join the website. If you know any small businesses, tell them about it. It's a great opportunity to advertise it. There's been a lot of work which has been done on creating clean URLs that are highly search engine optimized, and basically we've seen that if you put a decent amount of content in, you can get first page on Google for business named Calgary. So if there's pretty much any business, as long as we can get content, we can get on the first page of Google for that business. In addition, if there has been a decent amount of content for one of these categories, we can also get on, for certain things we can get on the first page of Google for certain categories. Not for restaurants in Calgary, but for instance, we also do different communities and areas. So if you search for, I think, dentist Woodbine Calgary, you'll find it on the first page of Google. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll open it up to, so far we haven't had, of course, a lot, but one did write I mean, one of the things that I was always worried about is the fact that it'll just become a website for people just roasting businesses that they don't like. This lady, she wrote a nice review about the Money Mart in on 11th Avenue, and basically
everyone's thinking of the commercial right now, or the guys in Jeep.
So I mean, basically she goes and this is Money Mart because they didn't cash your check. In some ways I feel sorry for businesses because my mom's in a small business and sometimes it's very hard. But in this case, the way that the story goes, it seems to me like they deserve her opinion about what they did to her. So I think you have to make a fair balance between...
1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay. You have to make a fair balance between consumer advocacy and advertising, and generally be even-handed about those things. But on the other hand, I generally favor businesses. So as long as I was content that they actually, Money Mart actually resolved this issue, I would probably take it down at some point, as long as it was okay with the person who posted it. So that's pretty much it for now. Hopefully we can get this thing growing.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sami. Go ahead.
Does your profile, do you associate friends and
Yeah.
your profile
Yeah.
in groups?
Yeah. You can associate friends with your profile. I didn't really, I can add groups. Like,
okay.
These are my friends.
Okay.
I can add groups, but I didn't really see the point. What basically I want to do, like, I'm a business, like I've got a business degree. So I want to do, basically I want a separate a separate part of MOBY pages, which basically caters to providing information for small businesses, like just like a blog and maybe groups for different different industries and so on, so that maybe they can network with each other, like sort of like LinkedIn, and then advertise too.
Who are the main competitors in that space?
In the United States, there's Yelp and there's Judy's Book. In Canada, I would say my competitors as, of course, the Yellow Pages. But Super Pages got bought out. Pretty much all of the other competitors got bought out by Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages Group has been looking to consolidate as many different publishers as possible in this space. In the United States, like I said, Yelp and Judy's Book. Each one of those has gotten VC funding, around $6 million, $3 to $6 million. Judy's Book had to restructure their business model because they were having trouble generating profit off of just like a general model where you have a general site and you're trying to sell advertisement. Yelp, on the other hand, seems to have made it work. They're still continuing with the strategy of basically advertising. And I mean, of course, you have to consider that in linear time, in terms of the market isn't there yet. We're not even at adoption. Like, the market just doesn't even exist. There aren't tons of small businesses of all sizes which are online. As time goes on, I think that probably 2009, 2010 or something like that, 3 years on, you'll see a lot more adoption from small businesses, and I do expect that all of them will have computers in their business. You know, in general, right now we're seeing a lot of adoption from small businesses, fast speed internet, and we see a lot of push from TELUS to push internet to small businesses.
So right now it's free to sign up as a small business?
Yeah, right now I'm not charging anything. It's going to. I'm not quite exactly sure how the business model is going to change and exactly where it's going to work and exactly how it's going to work. But then again, you know, like, I'm pretty much willing to go with the flow. I don't have any idea what it's got to be this way. Go ahead.
Did you build this whole thing from the ground up?
It's built on open source software. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
All right.
What made you decide to start this business?
I don't know. I was basically, when I was in one of the entrepreneurship classes, I was I've got 6 courses to finish here. But in one of the entrepreneurship classes, my focus is entrepreneurship. In one of the entrepreneurship classes, I was like sitting there and I was thinking about different business ideas, and it just sort of occurred to me that there is a real need for some sort of consolidated source of information, and the Yellow Pages really isn't it, because there just isn't enough information that it provides. It's very, very, it's not dense enough. You need a lot more dense information. So in addition to this, basically I'm also working on learning a search engine based on Nutch, which I can reprogram to parse addresses and then correlate those back to addresses on the site. And then based on that, I can basically pull up different pages that are related with the business, and the same thing that Google is doing, essentially start providing each one of these listings with links to all the different sites that mention the business as well.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sami.